So, hi there everybody. Welcome to my kitchen. I'm Sandy, and this is the first in what I hope is going to be a series of videos that I think I'm going to call simply From My Recipe Box. Literally from my recipe box. Here it is. This box has been around forever and holds all the old recipes that I've been making for years and years. So the intent here is just to talk to my family and friends, and if anybody else wants to join in and check out the recipes from my box, I hope that you do. Today we're going to do a really old recipe from my box called Congo Bars. Don't ask me why they're called Congo Bars. We can look it up online and see if we can find something, but it's basically just a bar cookie with butter, brown sugar, and some other things that you can whip together real quickly. I've been making it for years. All of my friends and family really like Congo Bars. Usually make them around Christmas time, but this year it's February and I actually missed one of my friends and didn't get them their Congo Bars this year, so they actually put in a special request for a batch. So here we go, and I figured it's as good a video to start my series as any. So with that, let's get started. In my basic stand mixer, I have creamed together 1 1/3 cups of butter and 2 cups of brown sugar. So the secret to making a really good Congo bar is this. It's the granulated, I call it granulated brown sugar. It's from Domino. It's now called Pour On the Brown Sugar. It's in this kind of a container and it's light brown. And I have a little bit here for you to see. It's just basically dried. I don't know what method Domino uses to dry it, but as you can see, it's not wet like standard brown sugar. So that's what really makes the Congo Bars come together really well. So like I said, that's here in the mixer already. The next thing that we're going to do is add 3 large eggs. I like to use large eggs. They don't have to be large eggs, but and you add them one at a time and just mix them into the brown sugar butter mixture. So pretty simple stuff, right? 1, 2, and there's the 3rd egg. I like to break my eggs separately in case you get a bad one. It doesn't spoil the whole batch, so I usually break them in a small bowl and then put them all together. So we're getting a moist mixture here. The next thing I have is some vanilla. And believe it or not, I gotta look at the recipe, but yep, a teaspoon and a half of vanilla. So here's another trick, not trick, I guess a tip to making really good Congo bars is the vanilla that you use. Make sure you're using real vanilla extract. I like this Mexican vanilla from the Blue Cattle Truck Company. It's really great vanilla. So you can buy this big container. This is 16.7 ounces. It'll last you forever on Amazon, as a lot of you already know. All right, so there goes the vanilla. Now we're going to add our dry ingredients. I'm going to slow this down a little bit so it doesn't spread all over the place, but I have some salt here. It's a half a teaspoon of salt. I am using salted butter, so if you are using unsalted butter and you just want to add a little extra dash of salt, you can certainly do it that way. And then this is my baking powder. It is 2.5 teaspoons. There's no baking soda, but there is quite a bit of baking powder. So I'm going to turn this off and add that so it doesn't spray all over the place. All right, and we'll mix all that together. All right, that's looking good. So next thing we're going to do, really simple, is add our flour. So this is 2 1/4 cups of flour. That's important that you get the measurements right, like in any baking. You got to make sure that you follow those directions. So let me open the mixer. flour in there. And we will very slowly get that incorporated. And you will notice that this batter is going to be really stiff once it's done. So there's a lot of flour in here, and what we're going to do is we're going to have to press it out into a 9x13 baking pan. I usually use an aluminum pan. I'll show you that in a minute, but you can use any 9x13 that you want. Greased 9x13 baking pan. And I'll show you this as we get a little closer to being mixed. But that is one of the challenges of making the Congo bars, getting it out of the bowl and into the baking pan and spread out. This recipe came to me in the 1970s, believe it or not, from a grandmother of an old boyfriend of mine. She gave me a few recipes from her kitchen, which I have had all these years and I make consistently, so she must have been some baker. I don't remember her name. Unfortunately, I really wish that I did, but anyway, thanks Grandma for these great recipes. They've come in handy all these years. All right, so as you can see, this is a really thick batter. And at this point, all we're gonna do is add a cup of chopped walnuts. And make sure we get every last drop. And a cup of chocolate chips. As simple as that. So, sort of like a blondie, I guess. So I'm gonna mix that up together, and then I'm gonna get it over to the baking pan. I'm gonna show you how to spread it out, and we're just gonna bake it off, and we'll have Congo bars. All right, so we've got our batter all done. Here's a sneak peek of how it looks in the bowl. Stiff, like I said. It is the best tasting batter. So do yourself a favor, take a little lick, because you're not gonna ever taste a better cookie batter than this. Guilty pleasure. Not that that's the thing you should be doing. However, I didn't want you to miss out. So now I'm gonna show you how I'm gonna put this into my baking pan. So this is the 9x13. It's 9x13, technically by 2. I use just a plain aluminum, and I buy the ones that have the plastic lid. This way I can just put the lid on and go. I've got it greased with just some regular old pan. It definitely needs that, so don't leave that step out. And so then what we're gonna do is, sometimes I just use a stiff spoon for this, as I take the batter out and I sort of, I don't know if you can see this, I guess I should switch it. I sort of plop it around the pan so that when it comes time to spread it, it's easier. So it's not just in one, big lump in the middle of the pan that you have to then figure out, how you're going to push around. But it's a relatively simple process. Just get it all in there. And then we're going to spread it out. So again, you can see how really thick this is by what I'm doing here. It's not a loose batter by any means. And to push it around, you can either use the back of your hard spoon if you want. I use a fairly hard spatula. I'm doing this at a funny angle, so that's why it's going to take me more time than it usually would, but I wanted you to see it. Make sure you scrape out all the goodness out of the bottom of the bowl. I guess I've watched enough cooking shows to use stupid phrases like that. Sorry about that. All the goodness. All right. So here we go. So now we're gonna just press it out. And then we've got the batter in in there. And we're just going to press it with the spoon. Just press it all into the corners. Make sure that you are really getting it into the corners good. And that it's fairly even. All right. Right depth and across the board. And put that nice bit there. And this is what you got. So we put this in the oven at 350 degrees for 35 to 40 minutes, my card says. And then we'll test it with a toothpick, make sure it's done inside. And it's been 40 minutes. So let's take our Congo bars out of the oven and see what we have. Yeah, pretty good. All right, nice bar. Use our toothpick. Comes out clean right away. Might get a little chocolate on it. Otherwise, looking good. So we'll take them out, let them cool, and then we're ready to go. All right, here's our close-up. Piping hot out of the oven, but they're looking really good. You can see the chocolate chips, you can see the nuts. In this case, I might even say they're a bit overcooked, so maybe 35 minutes at 350 would have been better today, but that's how it goes, right? I think they're gonna be delicious either way. Okay, so the Congo bars have cooled. It's time to cut them. I usually cut them into 30 squares, 5 short, 6 a long way. You can cut them obviously into any kind of square you'd like. I usually use a serrated knife. This way they cut through nice and even. And then, you know, whatever kind of spatula you want to get them out of the baking dish. So with that, I guess it's time to take an up close look at the inside. Moist, delicious, and full of flavor. Of course we have to try one. Moist, chocolatey. You can taste the brown sugar, the vanilla, everything a Congo bar should be. So I'll share with you at the end of this video the recipe card from my recipe box. Hopefully Congo bars will find their way into yours. Thanks for watching. Again, Sandy Jowin from my recipe box. Hope you're all doing well.